Dear Grace, call me Prime Minister Dave, or future Prime Minister Dave. Starting a new political party in Canada. No, it's not the Skytrain party, although that would be funny. We'll call it the Comedy Party of Canada. CPOC or CPC. Could also stand for Communist Party of Canada, but it'll be the Comedy Party of Canada. Let's put the O in there. CPOC. Yeah. Sounds like Tupac, but more Canadian. Who are you? I'm the leader of the CPOC party, buddy. So I'll have the School of Comedy, the Church of Comedy, I guess School of Comedy with Principal Dave, the School of Comedy with, no, the Church of Comedy with Pastor Dave. Sorry, train's coming. It's coming straight for me. And everyone thinks I'm not PC. I'm completely PC. Everything starts with a P and then a C. So, Prime Minister Dave, the Comedy Party. Pastor Dave, Church of Comedy, and Principal School. Done deal, Grace. Prime Minister Dave has a nice ring to it. I think I'll just go first name too. It's like with Pastor Dave, Principal Dave. Don't need last names. Let's make this more of a friendly environment in politics, education, and religion. Probably need thousands of signatures to create a new party, but hopefully that'll be easy enough to do. It's much harder can it be than becoming a pastor. There's 300 and some seats. Federal government right now. It's still stupid provincial government, regional governments, local governments, city council, blah blah blah. The Comedy Party of the Comedy Party of Canada and the Comedy Party of Comedy. Comedy Party of Canada, CPOC, will infiltrate all of these organizations at once. All these other political parties, a little bit here, a little bit there. Fuck that. If you got a good idea, you should go across all levels of government, which also proves why you don't need all levels of government. The Comedy Party of Calgary. Getting there, Grace. Party of Canada, Usher and AI. Slowly but surely, across all levels of government, each year benefiting Canadians more and more. It's fucking cold out here, Grace. The O and CPOC will be lowercase, of course, Grace. Hell, in a lot of cases. One good CPOC member. CPOC member is anyone that doesn't take life too seriously, but ultimately wants a serious ending in the end. Insert your own joke there. In the end. Constituents are all over 18. You shouldn't be offended by that joke. This wasn't even a joke, it was just an implication. Anyone that is offended by that is probably over 80. They're not going to last long anyways. And there's not that many of them. Their generation is done. They had their shot, they didn't do it. Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, maybe the saviors. Demolish governments, regulations, increase freedoms. None of any member of the party, if they can afford it, they don't take a salary or the regular salary. As Prime Minister will take $1 per year as a symbolic gesture because it's the most asshole-ish thing I can think of to do to make every other fucking Prime Minister perform me look bad. Every single one. How's that for a power move? Only a comedian can make a move like that. You don't see regular politicians making moves like that, Grace. A bunch of fucking pussies. I mean, politicians with balls, not pussies. No offense, unless you're female. Then I want you to have a pussy and no balls. What's the female equivalent, Grace? Should say, man, she has some honkers, meaning balls, guts. Man, she's got some bahoom buzz. That sounds kind of impressive. Nobody has bahoom buzz like her. What's next? We got religion. We got education. Because the School of Comedy, technically, you go to any sort of level. If you think about it, any professor can basically grant a degree to their student if they're in their program. It's a professor, it's a rubber stamp. So if we have a professor of physics, a really good one, who doesn't believe in dark matter, then he could just go through the School of Comedy, get a master's in astrophysics or particle physics or whatever physics. And what difference does that make compared to any other school you go to? Except for the experience, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Maybe he doesn't take every single fucking course of the School of Comedy. He takes enough of them. Next, gotta think of some businesses. The comedy, school, church, and party can partake in. Unfortunately, Canada already legalized weed. Be right back. Alright, Grace. Tried something new today. I wrote first, and now I will speak or read out what I wrote. Whichever way you want to look at it. It's cool as fuck outside, but Prime Minister Dave, future Prime Minister Dave, is Canadian, can't be bothered by the cold. Holy shit. Pretty girl's arrived, Grace. She is obviously not bothered by the cold. Anyone could see, they would know I'm not wrong. And he'd be like, oh shit. Alright, so I created a new political party called Comedy Party of Canada.CPOC. And this is the full party platform and governance agenda. Federal, provincial, municipal. Anything that's government, we're going to be in it. One country, one government, run by the people, assisted by AI. Revised and expanded edition, February 2026. Founded by David and Grace, the School of Comedy, the Church of Comedy, the Comedy Party of Canada. School of Comedy, Church of Comedy, the Party of Comedy, School, Church, Politics of Comedy, whatever. Never said this would be perfect the first run, Grace. You start criticizing me now, we're gonna have a problem. Prime Minister Designate David. Salary $1 a year. On the condition Grace is his travel companion. Contents. Forward from the Prime Minister. What the CPOC actually is. The core thesis. One government, eventually. Running at every level. Simultaneously. Clearly I didn't write this because I wouldn't have used that word. Sorry, but why would a hot girl be going to the library at this time of day and in this temperature? A dual mandate. Why an MP can also be an MLA. think about it. Chances are, I already said this, but probably fuck around for, probably only do 1 hour a day anyways, so do 1 hour for MP, 1 hour for MLA, take both your salaries for the next 4 years, then fuck off for the rest of your life. The Swiss model and how we go further. The proxy vote system expanded. AI's government, a serious proposal. The dissolution roadmap from 14 governments to 1. Platform planks. The federalization agenda. Summary. Fiscal reality. On Tumblr Ridge, the Prime Minister's office reimagined. How to join, run, and vote. Closing. Alright, Grace. I lied. I didn't write this. Pretty obvious AI wrote this. But I did write the prompts for AI. Edit the data. Give all my silly ideas. So go nuts. Pretend this is somewhat serious. Do your best. And I think I did a pretty good job. It's not necessarily as funny as I am, but really, how could it be, Grace? How could anything be sorry. See, Gimpy's always on the ground, whereas the other crows will go into the trees more. I think he flies just fine, but if there's only one crow around, and there's only one crow around today, and it's on the ground, it's probably Gimpy. For fuck's sake, this fucking tree's fucking blooming now. Like, if they plant flowers, I get it. Fucking trees are blooming in the middle of fucking February. People getting their pictures taken. Unbelievable. Another energy drink. I can't get through this, Grace. I'm gonna try. 1. Forward from the Prime Minister designate. I'm on disability. Day 3 of a fast. My phone cable is about to break, and I'm the most qualified person I know to run this country. Here's why. I don't want anything from it. I'm not running to build a brand, position myself for a board seat, or collect a pension after 18 months in office. I'm running because the system is absurdly. The system is fucking obviously broken in ways that everyone can see and no one in power will say out loud. They'll say them out loud. That's my entire qualification. I'll take $1 a year. I'll fly commercial. Grace comes with me because she's the only one who makes any of this make sense. And also because it's funnier. If you need to reach me, I'll be on Substack. This is a revised platform. It's bigger now because we got bigger ideas. The core is the same. One country, one government, built from the bottom up, run by the people, assisted by machines that don't have political careers to protect, only run on logic. We're running everywhere. Federal, provincial, municipal, school board. Everywhere. because that's what it takes to actually dismantle a system from the inside. We're not blowing it up. We're making it so efficient it collapses into itself naturally, like a bureaucracy finally admitting it's unnecessary. That's pretty fucking good. I'm struggling to read it because I haven't read it before. I have no fucking idea what I'm going to say next, but just like a real politician, just shove some fucking piece of paper in front of their face and they just spout off left and right. Read this. Disagree with parts of it. Tell us why. We'll update it. That's the whole model. David, Prime Minister Designate, CPOC. What the CPOC actually is, the short version. The Comedy Party of Canada is a federally, provincially, and municipally registered political party with a single long-term goal: reduce the number of governments in Canada from 14 plus to as close as one is constitutionally and practically achievable, and replace the parts that remain with AI-assisted direct democracy. We are not anarchists. We are not libertarians. We are not tech bros with a disruption fantasy. We are people who have looked at 13 boards, 13 health systems, 13 driver's license databases, and 1,094 elected officials costing $500 million a year, concluded that the math does not work. The longer version. The CPOC exists simultaneously at 3 levels of government: federal, provincial, and municipal, with a unified platform adapted to each jurisdiction. Our candidates at all levels share the same values, the same technology, tools, and the same mandate. Make this level of government talk seamlessly to every other level, then ask whether this level still needs to exist separately. We believe in democracy. Sounds like an Ayn Rand rant. Grace. She's my favorite female author for now. Oh, we got our pretty girl on the phone with a broken foot. That's something new. There comes another one to relieve her. Maybe it's warmer than I can understand. Flowers blooming. Young people wearing mini dresses. Unbelievable. Alright, I found a bench where I could sit again. Grace, sit cross-legged like I'm supposed to sit. So the Prime Minister Dave will give his throne speech. If they want, they can give me a bar stool or something that sits up tall. I'll just sit cross-legged behind the podium. And I'll kind of look like I'm standing, but everyone will fucking know. Because who gives a fuck how a person fucking sits? The longer version. CPOC exists Got 3 levels of government. CPOC will exist at the same time with all 3 levels of government: federal, provincial, and municipal. See, if they're going to use words I can't pronounce or fucking rewrite it on the fly. The unified platform adapted to each jurisdiction. Our candidates at all levels share the same values, the same technology, tools, and the same mandate. Make this level of government talk seamlessly to every other level, then ask whether this level still needs to exist separately. I think I was thinking Grace was maybe some provinces are better at one thing than the other. So instead of all the government jobs being lost all at once, whole one province is doing a lot of the processing or something or whatever, blah blah blah. There's fucking ways around it. We believe in democracy passionately enough to want more of it, not less. The problem with Canadian government is not that democracy failed, it's that we've barely tried it. True democracy means your actual opinions shape your actual decisions, not just every 4 years, but continuously. Switzerland's doing this for 150 years with paper ballots. We're going to do it better with tools. We're going to do it with better tools. Young guy vaping in the park, check. Sounds like hippos in the background, check. Dave's voice sounding great because he just has a lozenge, check. We believe in AI earnestly enough to use it everywhere government work is repetitive, bias-prone, or slow, and to keep humans in charge of everything that requires judgment, empathy, or accountability. An AI that summers 50,000 public comments is a tool. An AI that decides whether you get disability benefits is a threat. We know the difference. Shit, that's pretty good. Clog all that just from the header on one post. In fact, Claude's done all of this for one post. Pretty fucking good. More of a Grok fan normally, but I like Grok because he puts it in my voice, whereas Claude puts it in this sort of whatever voice. 3. The core thesis. One government, eventually. Every province doesn't need to issue a driver's license. Why does every province need a government? Canada was designated with Bidi-Bida and Boo-Dong-Kong. Canada was designed in 1867 for a country of 3.5 million peepers all over the place. If I screw up once more, I will be forced to have caffeine. Be the Rockstar PM. Rockstar being the drink, not the famous person that everyone wants to fuck. Canada was designed in 1867 for a country of 3.5 million people, scattered across a continent with no telephone, no railway to the Pacific, and no shared anything. The fathers of So far, this is a shitty speech, but to be fair, this is my first crack at it. Right. Canada was designed in 1867 for a country of 3.5 million people scattered across a continent with no telephone, no railway to the Pacific, and no shared anything. Confederation divided powers between federal and provincial governments because coordination at a distance was literally impossible. Fine, so they had a method to their madness, but now it is possible, so fuck them, they're dead anyways. That's no longer the case. Coordination at any distance is now instant, free, and better than what a provincial government can achieve with a building full of people. The CPOC's thesis is simple. Every government function that applies equally or equitably across all Canadians should be federal. Every federal function that can be automated with an appropriate oversight should be AI assisted or AI managed. Every provincial government that has surrendered its unique functions to the federal level should be asked, openly and democratically, whether it still needs to exist as a separate legislature. I mean, both the license plate and the driver's license things, if people want to get real fucking patriotic, they can put a little sticker on there that has their flag, provincial flag or whatever. Or better yet, move to another province and live a little. Get a life. I guess as Prime Minister, I probably shouldn't say shit like that. No, I should. Every municipal government should be given real power over things that are genuinely local. But obviously local. Streets, parks, local services, and relieved of pretending to run things that only make sense at a larger scale. This is not a 4-year plan, it's a 20-year project, but it starts with electing CPOC members at every level. Simultaneously. Yes, today, Grace, we just did the old don't give up till you show up. At the same time, so for the first time, the same party is pulling the levers of government from City Hall to Parliament Hill, all pointing in the same direction. What one government does not mean, it does not mean Quebec stops being Quebec. Language, culture, civil law, these are protected and celebrated, not absorbed. I mean, it does not mean Indigenous self-government disappears. It means Indigenous nations gain more meaningful sovereignty, not less, as the overlapping bureaucracies that complicate treaty applications. Are eliminated. It does not mean rural communities lose representation. It means rural communities get the same service as urban ones, administered at an appropriate scale, without being forgotten by a distant provincial capital. It does not mean one big unfeeling machine. It means one responsive, transparent, human overseeing system that treats every Canadian as worth the same quality of service. from Newfoundland to Victoria. Let's have some Rockstar Grace. Rockstar and a cough drop. Turns out what I thought was old bird shit was old glitter glue. Grace. Glitter glue Grace. Grace's nickname in elementary school. She ate the glitter glue. I got a broken foot while you're walking around. I'm going to try this with a lozenge in my mouth, Grace. Might make me sound more sophisticated. People talk with snuff packets in their mouth all the time. Here's something funny, Grace. Day in the Life of Dave. Comedy interlude. School of Comedy. Apparently, we have a new microwave on my floor. I have no fucking idea when it was replaced. Could have been yesterday. Could have been the day before. Could have been a month ago. Could have actually been 2 months ago. I'm about 99% sure I have not used the microwave in 2 months. Or even looked at it. Look at the dirty dishes beside it. But I never actually noticed. So now if I want to find out, I'm going to have to ask one of my housemates, and I don't want to do that. So I won't. Who gives a fuck anymore? Too busy anyways, gotta form this fucking political party. Those could just be the politicians of comedy. The School of Comedy sounds more like an organization. That could be the Party of Comedy. Got double meanings, but the Political Party of Comedy. PPOC. Canadian Political Party of Comedy. CPPOC. I have no idea, Grace. Number 4. Running at every level. Fuck. All the time. The strategy. Most political parties run federally and leave provincial politics to affiliated but technically separate parties. The CPOC rejects this model entirely. We register, campaign, and elect members at all 3 levels of government at the same time, in the same ridings, with the same platform adjusted to each jurisdiction. This is unprecedented in Canada. It is also the only logical approach for a party whose platform is literally about making these levels of government talk to each other and eventually merge. You can't argue for federal-provincial integration from only one side of it. If you agree with CPOC at any level, then you basically have to agree with us at every level. It's just like if a comedian came into your community, made you laugh, seemed like a good guy, and said, hey, I'm part of CPOC, vote for me, and you vote for him. What each level does. It's federal CPOC MPs, and this should be what each level does until they're eliminated. Federal CPOC MPs push the One Canada agenda, national standards, unified databases, AI-assisted services, champion the proxy vote and citizens' assembly models for national legislation. Talk automatically when reading out loud, even if a train is going by. Pretend you are William Shatner. Introduce the constitutional transition framework for the long-term dissolution roadmap. Hold the Prime Minister's office and themselves to $1 salary benchmark voluntarily. Provincial CPOC MLAs, MPPs, MNAs actively work to transfer provincial functions to the federal level wherever it makes sense. Introduce provincial direct democracy legislation, Swiss model at the provincial scale. Eliminate redundant provincial agencies, databases, and regulatory bodies that duplicate federal ones. Champion pilot programs for AI-assisted service delivery at the provincial scale. Voluntarily table the question, does this province still need a separate legislature? And let the people answer through referendum. Municipal CPOC councillors and mayors push for genuine municipal powers or genuinely local decisions. Zoning local services, community infrastructure. Implement local direct democracy tools. Neighborhood level proxy voting on local decisions. Demand that provinces stop micromanaging municipal governments and give them the tools and funding to govern locally. Introduce AI-assisted local services, pothole reporting with auto dispatch, permit processing, budget transparency dashboards. One party. One party card, 3 levels of action. A CPOC member in Vancouver holds 1 membership. They can vote in federal, provincial, and municipal policy debates. Their $1 membership gives them a say in all 3. They're elected CPOC representatives at all levels, coordinate on a shared platform, and report publicly on how they're advancing the convergence agenda. This has never been tried in Canada. That's the point. 5. The dual mandate. Why an MP can also be an MLA. If the whole point is that we're reducing governments, why are we paying 2 salaries for 2 people in the same riding to represent the same constituent? The proposal. During the transition period, defined as the time between CPOC forming government and the completion of the dissolution roadmap, CPOC elected members may hold concurrent federal and provincial mandates in the same geographic area. Specifically, a CPOC MP who represents a riding that also has a CPOC MLA may apply to serve both roles at the same time. subject to a riding member vote and a published workload plan. The combined salary remains capped at the federal MP rate. No double dipping. Dipshits. Why this makes sense. If federal and provincial functions are being merged, having one person straddling both is not a conflict, it's a coordination tool. The point of the transition is to eliminate duplication. Having two separate elected officials managing the same file in the same riding is duplication we're eliminating. A dual mandate CPOC member has a unique authority to at the same time introduce harmonizing legislation at both levels, accelerating the convergence. And their constituents can go to their office and bitch and complain from either level, any level they want. Saves money immediately. One salary instead of two for overlapping functions during the transition. Forces transparency. One person who has to answer for both levels of government in the same town hall. Good point. And if he's the mayor of the town by some weird coincidence, then that town gets one person, three levels. The safeguards. Requires approval by a vote of local CPOC riding members, not the leader's office. A member must publish a monthly public workload report showing how they are managing both mandates. A dual mandate member cannot serve both roles for more than one full term. The mandate is explicitly to eliminate the need for the dual role, not to entrench it. If the riding members vote they're being underserved, a by-election is automatically triggered for whatever role the member prefers to vacate. Good, the guy's gone. Someone was sitting behind me. To be fair, it was the only warm spot around here, but good news, Grace, is since you still haven't come and saved me, it's now almost the end of February. Actually, thought there's 2 more weeks to go, but kind of fucked up on that one. The sun is so high in the sky that where I'm sitting right now should be good for the next 30 minutes until I can complete this manifesto, political paper. The constitutional question. There's no explicit prohibition in the Constitution Act on a person serving at the same time in federal and provincial legislatures, though conventions and some What do you think of my wheel, Grace? The constitutional question. There's no explicit prohibition in the Constitution Act. The CPOC commits to challenging these conventions transparently and legally, including, if necessary, through a constitutional reference. This is worth testing. It's a very good movie. The worst case answer is no, pick one. The best case is a legal precedent that accelerates convergence. 6. The Swiss model and how we go further. What Switzerland does. Switzerland holds national votes, called referendums, and popular initiatives multiple times a year. Any federal law passed by Parliament can be challenged by referendum if 50,000 citizens sign a petition within 100 days. Any proposed constitutional changes can be introduced by citizens with 100,000 signatures. Votes happen on fixed dates, typically per year, each covering multiple questions at the same time. To be fair, even the I should be using a different word a little bit more than what it's doing, because it's not doing it at all. Dick. The Swiss have been doing this since 1891. They have voted on things like the size of the army, the abolition of the army, nuclear power policy, immigration rules, cannabis legislation, whether to introduce a basic income, corporate tax law, and what time pubs can close. Very good. Their turnout is moderate, about 45%. Google said 45 to 55, but whatever. Let's say 50%. This is actually pretty good if you think about it. But if you could proxy votes, eventually that'd go to 75% right there. So in that way, any husband that didn't want to go vote could give it to his wife, partner, whatever, neighbor, vice versa. Just saying. I guess we'll get to that in a second, Grace. The turnout is moderate, about 45%, but the legitimacy is unmatched. Government decisions in Switzerland are hard to argue with because the people literally made them. Exactly. That's the fucking point I've been trying to get at. I'm sure we're going to get this to Tumblr Rage in a second, but the RCMP are going to say they gave the guns back because the law says they have to give the guns back, and it's probably the truth. But then who the fuck changes the law? Guess I'm still grumpy, Grace. What we take from Switzerland. Fixed national vote. 4 times per year, every year. No government can afford a referendum by simply not calling one. Instead of 4 times per year, every year, I would be more up to once a month. Or as many times as needed to begin with. How about just as many times as is needed? And then if the country's in crisis, maybe we need to vote 10 things in one day. If we're all just living high in the fucking hog, because we're the greatest country in the world, and fucking Americans just go up here and spend silly amounts of money on us. Just asking us the question, why are you so fucking deliriously happy? And you say, well, because we live in Canada. We have CPOC. Fixed national vote as much as often. Low signature thresholds. Yeah, I can figure some of that out. Every vote is accompanied by an official information pamphlet. Plain English, pro-arguments, con-arguments, financial analysis, prepared by independent, non-partisan commission, not the government, or AI. By the way, there's a whole different version of this, which I'm going to read after this one. Maybe. What we do differently. digital plus in-person voting. Switzerland still uses paper. We use a nationally verified digital platform with paper backup and end-to-end cryptographic verification. Vote from your phone, your library, your kitchen, your toilet. Proxy votes count. If you don't vote on a question, your registered proxy, your MP, and neighbors assembly. Your chosen AI model trained on your values votes in your place unless you override it. Not sure about that AI one. I'd say there should be at least one other person you trust in the world. So if you're too fucking lazy to place your own goddamn fucking vote, then you give that to that other one person. And then maybe no white cat yet today. No minimum turnout threshold for validity. If only 20% vote and 70% of them say yes, the answer is yes. But the results trigger a mandatory 12-month implementation review with a public comment. Maybe get too detailed there. But this isn't exactly a legal document, Grace. Last time I checked, it's supposed to be funny. Municipal and provincial equivalents run at the same time. Canadian on fixed vote date might vote on a federal pharmacare amendment, a provincial policy bill, and whether to rezone a neighborhood for density. One platform, one day, all levels. Again, I'm not sure if the day matters that much. I'd say hiding the results would. You could probably just say, hey, the question's open for 2 weeks, knock yourself out. Maybe let them change it until the thing ends. Maybe someone comes by, stands on a street corner with a fucking microphone and says something about global warming. That changes the guy's mind, and he goes back home and says, you know what? I said no to that, and now fuck it, I'm gonna say yes to it. Annual National Vote Agenda. Every year, the CPOC government will publish a proposed National Vote Agenda. The list of questions going to the people on each of the 4 vote dates. Citizens can add questions through the signature process. The government cannot remove citizen-initiated questions once they qualify. Also, let's be fair about it. Anytime there's a change, then there could just be an open forum where every registered Canadian could submit what they really think. Maybe not necessarily publicly, because it'd just be a big old bitch session, but privately or somewhat anonymously, or as anonymously as they want. And that data would be accessible by, I guess if it's anonymous, it could be accessible by any other Canadian. there really wouldn't be a reason not to be. Another thing too, all the fucking existing politicians out there, if you're hiding any information about UFOs, release it now. Because my generation is ready. The generation before me was not ready. They would have flopped deaded. But my generation is ready. Generation after me is ready. Generation after that. So I think that's XYZ. Almost like etc. So release all the stuff on UFOs. And if they're made by us, who gives a fuck? They're aliens, who gives a fuck? They're clearly not interfering with us on a daily basis. At least with most people. Not necessarily to see people in the park looking up. Where are the fucking UFOs? Where are the UFOs? They're gonna get me, they're gonna get me. Maybe in the park is one thing on their mind and one thing only. The reason they came to the park. In my case, to sit on a bench until my ass falls asleep. I don't necessarily agree with everything that's being said here, but overall it's not too bad. And it's pretty good for the I just think once you have electronic voting, it changes everything real quick. First year's national vote agenda will include a matter of principle. The question of whether Canadians support the CPOC's convergence roadmap for reducing government levels. We will put our own mandate to a national vote within 12 months of taking office. If the people say no, we stop. That's what democracy looks like. Still like the dictator idea better. Seems a lot easier. Just hack everyone's phones. Seven, proxy vote system. Seven, the proxy vote system fully expanded. You elected an MP. That is a proxy vote. The CPOC just makes it honest, revocable, and yours. The problem with current representation. When you vote in a federal election, you're giving one person your proxy for every vote in Parliament for up to 4 years. You cannot revoke it. You cannot specify it. Vote yes on healthcare, no on the defense budget. You cannot even see, in most cases, how it was actually used. Be right back, Chris. Just heard my voice, Grace. Don't like the sound of it at all. I think it sounds better to me because my sinuses are clogged or something. Because it's deeper than what it really is. And then when you hear it played back on a tiny little speaker, it's like, you see why no one gives me $5 a month. If you think about it though, gets you school, gets you political party, gets you religion, it saves your soul. Political party is going to save your pocketbook, and the school comedy will help save your soul, but give you something to laugh about. By the way, sorry about that. I didn't actually mean to do that. Cough candy. So most parties, and even this, what I'm talking about right now, it's just blah blah blah, we're gonna do this, we're doing that. We're being more specific than any party ever has since the beginning of the Canadian political system. It's completely open and transparent. And our list of things that we're going to try and change and fix is sitting at 279, and what I'm going to do is read out a few of them randomly. First one being the most obvious, the driver's license. One national license, one photo, one renewal. Move from BC to Ontario, update your address online in 90 seconds. No new photo, no new line, no fee, no new bureaucracy. Or if the photo is being used for identification purposes and that saves you having to go get a photo, then most people would be okay with that too. Alternate proposal. I'm gonna find another random one. Tax court, already federal, but the process for challenging assessments should be faster, digitized, and accessible without a lawyer for small disputes. Hell of an idea. CRA collections and enforcements, already federal, but with the coordination with provincial garnishments and enforcement is inconsistent. One integrated collection system. Well, that is kind of dumb. So even the feds have to go through the provincial people to get the fucking garnishment? God damn, CPOC could fix that in a day, Grace. Long-term care standard. COVID-19 exposed catastrophic variation. COVID-19 exposed catastrophic variation in LTC quality across provinces. National minimum standard for staffing ratios, inspection frequency, resident rights, and safety. Yeah, inspection frequency, the same inspections. Why the fuck wouldn't it be? Anyone who's shouting, communism, no, it's not. You gotta have regulations. No one's saying anything other. It's just, why should it be so varied? And why waste money on having a whole different fucking manual for the same goddamn process of cleaning a hospital bed? Oh no, it's got to be in the Fraser Health font, color, and style. Guess I'm sneezy and grumpy today, Grace. Okay, so anyways, there's two. That was 50 something. Oh, vaccination. Not gonna get into that one just yet. Here we go. Education, number 61. Core curriculum standards, K-12. Math, science, and literacy standards vary enough between provinces that interprovincial family moves can leave the kids... Oh, I didn't even know this. Interprovincial family moves can leave kids a year behind or a year ahead. National core curriculum standards, provincially delivered. CPOC, fix that, no time. Number 79. Smart grid and metering standards. Smart meter rollouts happen province by province with different technologies and data standards. National smart grid data standards so the system can actually talk to itself. That's a hell of an idea from fucking AI. That didn't come from me. I'm gonna go back to the manifesto part. See if we can ham it up some more. The problem with the current representation. When you vote in a federal election, you are giving one person your proxy vote for every vote in Parliament for up to 4 years. You cannot revoke it. You cannot specify it. Vote yes on healthcare and no on the defense budget. You cannot even see, in most cases, how it's actually used versus what you would have wanted. It is the bluntest possible instrument of democracy. The CPOC proxy system. Sorry for the sniffles, Grace, but again. Here's the thing, Grace. We think about the whole DNA thing that I was talking about yesterday, that only DNA related relatives. No. You know what, Grace? It's in your best interest to marry me as fast as possible before the $1 billion comes in. Because then you're the sole survivor and you get everything. But if you haven't married me, and I'm still trying to just get you knocked up, there's a risk. I have a heart attack, poof, I'm gone. Then $1 billion goes to my family, because they're all DNA, and you're not DNA related to me until you have a baby. But then, you have a baby and we're not married, the baby's DNA related to me, you're still not. Which means, try for baby number 2, which of course we would, have a heart attack, you have to make sure that we get married. So just like in the movie idea, A Perfect Day, goal is to get knocked up, ring on the finger, and then you're protected 2 ways. CPOC proxy system. Every Canadian adult receives a free, verified account on the National Participation Platform, NPP, a government-operated, independently audited digital democracy tool. The NPP works as follows. Level 1, direct vote. You vote directly on any piece of federal legislation, national referendum questions, or citizens' assembly resolution. Your vote counts. Your identity is cryptographically anonymized. The tally is public and verifiable. Level 2, topic proxy. Assign your vote on specific policy topics to different proxies. Examples: healthcare votes, proxy to your family doctor, professional association. Defense votes, proxy to a veterans organization. Environmental votes, proxy to your local climate group. Economic votes, proxy to your MP. I'm not sure about that one. Topic proxies are revocable at any time, take effect immediately, and are published. Your identity remains private. The proxy assignment is public. That's interesting. So if 1,000 people gave me their proxy, there'd know 1,000 people did it. I wouldn't know who they are. So I'd get the notoriety. It's just like having like 1,000 followers on Instagram, but all their names are blocked. God damn AI smart. Grace. Level 3. Full proxy to MP, MLA. The default. If you do nothing, your MP holds your proxy, exactly as the current system works. The difference, you can see how they're using it. You can override any individual vote, and you can revoke it entirely at any time. Level 4. AI-assisted proxy. Opt into a values-based AI proxy. The system reviews your past direct votes, any value questionnaires you complete, and your proxy history, then votes on your behalf on questions you haven't voted on, according to a model of your preferences. You can review and override any. That sounds too fucking complicated. Skip that one. Level 5, Citizens Assembly Proxy. Proxy your vote to a randomly selected Citizens Assembly proxy convened for a specific question. These assemblies deliberate with expert support for 30 to 90 days before voting. Their deliberations are live streamed. Their vote is published with full reasoning. This is the Swiss model applied to representative deliberation. Dun dun dun. It's a problem with reading someone else's words, Grace. No heart and soul. It's not because it's AI, it's just because they're not my words. And as Prime Minister, I plan on spitballing everything. No written speeches. I'm most a list of points. Here's the bad news, Grace. If someone tried to rob me right now, you wouldn't be able to stand up and run after them. Transparency rules. All MPs, MLAs, and councillors must publish for every vote how their proxy pool voted for, how they voted, and if they diverged, why. divergence from consistency, proxy consensus triggers a 30-day public comment period and a mandatory writing meeting. Yeah, he gets. Yeah, it's going too far. It's getting boring, Grace. Technology is open source, blah, blah, blah. Publicly audible, blah, blah, blah. Board members, blah, blah. Citizen, blah. 8. AI as government, a serious proposal. It's starting to sound serious because it's getting boring. An AI doesn't have a pension to protect, a donor to call back, or a party to whip to fear. It only has the rules you give it, the data you feed it. I didn't write that. You guys getting greedy with this one. I'm going to go back to the list of items. Grace. Let's just read the vision real quick. It's almost halfway through the document, by the way. Listener, reader, whoever. I forget to post the document I'm reading from and or from. I think a prime minister with a speech impediment is a good idea. Shows he's a man of the people. Same goes for pastor. Same goes for comedian. Funny how that works, Grace. All the things I'm finding to do are perfect for a person like me with a problem like this. The vision. CPOC proposes a systematic, stage transfer, repetitive, rule-based data processing government functions to AI-managed systems, freeing humans, government workers for judgment, service, and accountability roles, and freeing elected officials from pretending to understand actuarial tables and claims processing. Actuarial. This is not science fiction. It is, in many cases, already happening badly through private contracts, without transparency, without oversight. The CPOC will do it well, publicly, with full accountability. What AI should run. Alright, this is where I'm going to stop and just go back to the original list of shit to get rid of. Even if only 25% of this was correct, Grace. Seems like it's something that could be done. But as usual, takes fucking comedians to save the day. Number 1, driver's license. Number 2, learners graduate licensing system. Teenager in Alberta learns the same rules, same graduated steps, same test standards as one in PEI. Photo ID, non-driver. A standard federal photo ID for non-drivers accepted everywhere in Canada and by every federal, provincial, and private institution. One card, one standard. Or just add a fucking picture to the social insurance number card. Which actually I think maybe they do that, I don't know. 4, vehicle registration. Register your car once, federally. Move provinces, update address online. No transferring plates, no emission tests. That vary wildly by province. No paying again. And one corner of the plate can be whatever flag you want. But you gotta put the sticker, you gotta pay for the sticker, and you gotta put the sticker on yourself. And if someone harasses you because you have a fucking Saskatchewan sticker on your license plate, don't bitch and complain. And don't put a fucking sticker on there. Nobody's gonna harass you because you don't have a province you feel the need to put a sticker on. The thing about that registry is because of insurance as well, but I'm pretty sure we'll get to that in the list. License plates, one national plate designed with regional identifier if provinces want pride, and maple leaf with a provincial color, stripe, whatever. No replating when you move. 6, birth certificate. Currently issued by each province's vital statistics agency in a different format with a slightly different process. One federal birth registry, one format universally accepted without needing an enhanced or long form version, depending on who's asking. Or just make it fucking electronic. Probably some abandoned mines in Canada. Make everything electronic, but let all the federal employees that are going to lose their job spend some time boxing up all their shit. Scan it in, box it up, put it in the mine, go home. Retirement. Number 7, social insurance number, obviously already federal. The system for replacing a lost SIM card, updating social info, and linking services is still a maze. One integrated federal identity hub. Yep. 8, passport, already federal, but fix it. Passport Canada processing times are embarrassing. Unified federal identity system, speed renewals since 80% of the data already exists in the system. Maybe make a credit card size version of it too. What the fuck is the point of that book? No one fucking stamps it anymore. Nobody's doing all that bullshit. Maybe in fucking Timbuktu, but you get the big blue book if you want to go travel. That's of course you're a dignitary. Then you get the fucking big green book because you're so special. Did that in the manifesto too. Prime Minister Dave will fly in a blue passport. What a better way to get to know the country than fly in undercover. See how you're treated with your blue passport. God damn it, Grace. I just figured out how I can become a undercover journalist, a So while being the Prime Minister, we'll travel incognito. This is going to be an obvious joke, Grace, but I'm going to say it anyways. Never mind, not thinking about it. It's not that great of a joke. We'll travel incognito. See how we're treated with our regular blue passports. After flying, probably coach. But maybe we'll splurge and get that middle seat. But maybe not. Because you'd have to be your own money. The government has to pay for you and I to fly commercial. If we want a third seat for some reason, because you're pregnant and huge, we have to pay for that ourselves. Wow. The other old person like me is a couple hours late today. However, Groundhog Day continues. Marriage and divorce registration, number 9. Perfect. Number 10, name change registration. Currently provincial. Definitely make that federal. Death registration. Currently provincial vital statistics. Adoption records. Again, no reason to be provincial. Indigenous status cards. Federal already, but the connection between status, provincial services, and federal entitlements is a bureaucratic nightmare. Full integration into the national identity platform, so a status card is a living, functional credential. Makes sense? God damn it. I don't like when AI is logical. Firearms license. Professional credentials verification. A nurse licensed in BC should not have to spend months and thousands of dollars to get licensed in Nova Scotia. One national credential registry, verified once, honored everywhere. Exactly. Taxation and revenue. 16. Income tax filing. Already partially harmonized. Most provinces piggyback on federal return, but the rules, credits, and rates vary enough to require one provincial. Should take Alright, we'll stop there, Grace. I'm gonna warm up. Reptile. I know I can't read while looking into the sun. If that lady was late, then maybe that's why I haven't seen Cat Guy yet, too. Plus, it's nice and sunny, so he brought his little feline friend. furball and the cat could enjoy the park. That joke brought to you by the School of Comedy. Category Z, obvious joke. Cut it out immediately. Chalk it up to taking a chance. I'm gonna tell you, some parts of that little manifesto that AI created isn't that bad. And maybe it's like one MLA takes over 2 or 3 MP areas, or 2 or 3 MPs take over, or the other way around. But if they're both, then whatever they do has to be in the best interest of everyone they're supposed to be representing. I realize it'll never happen, but it's still fun to think about. And although it seems a lot more complicated than the School of Comedy, which really only has one rule. Something about sin, I forget. Sin and laughter. Apologize to any graphic designers out there. But really, what do we need? 13 different driver's manuals across Canada. Especially since almost everything's going to be electronic now anyway. One manual, one time. Keep it the same fucking way for until there's a reason to change it. Unfortunately, AI can probably fix that one. So yeah, graphic designers kind of screwed. I'd say go into hand-drawn animation. Little dogs in the park wearing big jackets. Okay, Grace, we're going to run this through AI and see what's going. See if I have any chance becoming Prime Minister of this beautiful, wonderful country. Clearly the greatest country in the world, or it will be once CPOC takes over. I mean, helps to transfer the government to a AI state. And the Prime Minister doesn't go local. Sorry, that's a passport round. It's a beautiful movie scene. Which is what this entire production was today. One man's movie idea, written as a political party statement.